Hi everyone, my name is Robyn Olivia and I am a puppeteer, community arts facilitator, and I'm really excited to build some puppets with you today for Create Week. So the things that you need to make your puppet are recyclable materials. So for example, an egg carton with a cereal box, some cardboard boxes, and then just so I have it ready, I have next to me just some paper for our planning. I've got some pens, pencils, whatever you've got around, and then we've got our bits that we need to actually make. So if you can find any kind of string or twine is very helpful. We've got some scissors, and we also have some tape or some glue. You can use either. So we're going to start with step one, which is designing our puppet. So today we're going to look at building a dog puppet, and I'll start off by thinking about the three key elements that we have of a puppet, which is really we think about our head, our body, and the legs or the tail. So as you can see here, I have made a very rough draft of a dog. I'm then going to label my parts. 1 for the head, 2 for the body, 3 for both the legs, and 4 for the tail. So I now know when making the puppet, I need to make 4 parts. Okay. So all of these purple bits that I've added in, this is where we're going to use our twine. So really simply, we can like pierce a hole in the head, in the body, in the legs, in the tail, and we'll connect all of them together using the twine. And the reason why we do this is really important because this is how we make sure that there's mobility in the head of the puppet. It makes it more lifelike and more realistic. So these are our joints, is what we're going to call them. So our joints made of twine. We're then going to have, I'm going to grab another colour. We want to think about our handles. So this is how we're going to hold the puppets. If you're making this puppet just for yourself to puppeteer, you've only got 2 hands, so we just want to focus on 2 handles. So we have our head here, and we've got to make sure we make a hand for the back of the head and a handle for the back of the body as well. With that, I'm going to get started building. So, for example, with the feet, I don't need my feet this long because I feel quite inspired by the idea of a sausage dog. So we're going to go for short legs for this puppet. So I'm just going to cut these tubes. Perfect. So already I've made myself 4 lovely little feet. And we're going to look immediately at how we connect it to my body of my puppet. So I'm just piercing 1 hole at the back there, roughly lining it up to the other side. Here, there we go. Nice. So I've basically now made 4 holes in here. So how I would then explore doing the joints is cutting the twine. This one here, as you can see, I'm literally just looping this through to create this bit kind of coming down here, which I can then connect to one of these legs. I'm also going to pierce a hole here and here and tie it through the middle. And I'm going to tie it leg number 1. After all of that fiddling, I've now got 4 wibbly wobbly legs attached to the base of my dog puppet. But the next thing I would focus on is going to building a handle here on the back of the dog's back. So this is kind of the perfect size for my hand to be able to fit underneath it and hold it securely and give it enough of a base and attachment to the puppet's back. So I'm just going to slice this in half. What's really fun with this kind of cardboard is that these can bend really easily. Okay, so I've now folded my handle into a nice kind of curved shape, and then I'm going to give it a little fold on each side so it's what I would call an anchor attaching it to the body. Push that in, and I've then basically given myself a handle of the puppet. We're always wanting the puppet to look as alive as possible. So if I don't have a handle, what's going to end up happening is I might kind of really be grabbing my hand over and it's going to be blocking a lot of the view to the audience. We're going to make the head of the dog puppet. So there are different ways we can do this. We can use, if you wanted to kind of use shapes that already exist in the world, you could use an egg carton, which is kind of naturally giving you a nose, 2 eyes, you could add some ears, etc, etc. Or you could have some fun with the cardboard. So grabbing a big bit of cardboard, I'm going to draw out that shape. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to go, number one is going to be that base of my head. So there we go, that's my base for now, number one, and I'm going to leave that there. Number two, I've kind of got us this round bit. I really just kind of follow those instincts, and this is what I would really encourage you guys to do at home. Don't worry if you're not doing exactly the same way as me. If I was to do this again, I would not do it the exact same way, because the idea is that you're seeing what is a pile of rubbish and you're turning it into something that you find interesting and creative based on what you've got in front of you. So don't worry about getting it exactly perfect. Focus on the journey, focus on the process of just folding bits of cardboard and seeing what shapes you make. That is the recommendation I'd give for you. So what I've done here is, again, using that idea of creating a base of the cardboard. I've made like a little base layer here. So I'm then kind of just folding this in half, bending that sellotape underneath, just to give it that structure. So this would be our kind of nose bit that we're going to do coming out. So now we're going to focus on building the eyes over the top. So what I've then done is cutting out my 1, my 2, my 3. I've basically built up the base of the dog. So I've got his like snout coming out the front, and then I've made 2 little loops for eyes, and now I'm going to have a think about how I might want to add some ears. Make your dog face, but again, you don't have to do it exactly like mine. Do it in whatever way works with the materials you have. So I'm now going to focus on some ears. So what's really nice about this cardboard is that it's so much like looser and flexible, which just means that when you're then creating things like ears, they have a bit more of a flap like a dog's ears might. You can then also even twist it, and you can begin to start to play with those colours. So I might even keep my red out on this side. Okay, so we're starting to have a very rough head of our dog. And he's a bit noseless, so I'm just going to add on a quick nose. There we go. Now he's got like a little bit more of like a Labrador snout coming out the top, which is quite nice. So we're into the final straight. We have our head, and we now want to look at how we're going to attach our head to our body. So same concept as last time. I've made a joint hole to the body here, and I've got my string, which I'm going to take from the back here, and I'm going to take it into the base of the dog's head. Put that on the base there. Slide that inside the dog's head. I need to attach another handle to the back of the head. So I found one of these spares, so I thought I'd show you about attaching a handle like this as well. Again, adding another slice of sellotape just above here. I'm going to bring this into the back of the head. Slide it all the way in. Follow my hands in as well. To then just basically firm it up on the inside. I then have a handle for the back of my dog's head, just like this, and I'm going to attach it now to the body. Great. We have our dog's head attached to the bit of dowel that we have a little bit more control over, and we've got our handle on the back that we can keep hold of. And the only thing we're missing is a tail. And there we have it. We have one complete cardboard puppetry dog. And as I said, all of your dogs are going to look different, and that's what's really, really exciting. If I did this tomorrow, maybe I'd find a yogurt pot I'd find more inspiring, or a grape box, and it would be a very different shape, a different structure. Whilst this is one version of the dog puppet that's used cardboard and recycling, you don't just have to use your recycling. You could use things in your house that you maybe no longer need. For example, this is a dog puppet I've made out of a mop that I no longer needed, and a handbag. And now I've kind of got this very shaggy looking dog made out of a handbag and a mop. And you don't even need to do a dog. You could start getting excited. If you've done a few practice ones like this and you're like ready for a challenge, you could decide to make like a miniature person. So this one, again, all I've used is cardboard, bits of string and some parcel paper that I had at home to make a face. So this is, yeah, the head of the puppet, plus literally just a violin that had gone to absolute rubbish, strings and beaters that were no longer being used, and that's a whole puppet in itself as well. So that's it from me. If you make your puppets, share them using the hashtag #CreateWeek and share them with Create on Instagram, social media. And also, if you have any other questions, or maybe you'd like some resources, we've got like instructions on how to do this and all the other activities, go to createweek.org.